Hey Star Warriors, Stargeek here. So I've now seen The Force Awakens twice, and let me get this right off the bat. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen, only second to The Empire Strikes Back. That's how good I thought. Second favorite movie of all time. It was incredible. Seeing it the first time in the movie theater was outstanding, and especially the reactions from the audience and everything that was going on in the plot and the characters and everything that happened was just incredible. And the second time was even better. So I want to go through my thoughts really quickly without spoiling anything. So this will be a spoiler-free, unscripted review of The Force Awakens in about 5 minutes, hopefully. So I'm going to just start right off the bat with Rey. All the characters here were amazing, but Rey was definitely my favorite. Daisy really did a great job conveying this kind of somewhat wise and intelligent in her craft character, but who's still needing a little more experience. But she's still very, very good at what she does. And when she runs into Finn, their connection with each other, the interactions between those two characters is great. And I think it's one of the best parts of the movie, just seeing Rey and Finn interact with each other. And John Boyega did a great job with playing a stormtrooper who turns sides. I don't think that's really spoiling anything. I think that's been common knowledge for quite a while now, but being this stormtrooper who kind of turns and joins sides to fight. And BB-8, let's move on to the robot right now. I'm gonna stop saying right off the bat. I've said that multiple times now, but BB-8 is extremely lovable. And if you're worrying that he's gonna be a kind of a Jar Jar Binks type character, he is not. He is lovable and just fun to watch on screen. I don't think there are very many negatives about that character. And he's kind of like R2-D2, but I don't want to say this, because R2-D2 has been around since the 70s, and, he's one of my favorites. But, I don't know, BB-8 might be better than R2-D2, and definitely in this film. I'll get to that a little later, but BB-8 is definitely the best droid in this movie. Poe Dameron, he is a big surprise to me. Poe Dameron, played by Oscar Isaac, the X-Wing pilot, is a big surprise, because I thought he was going to be an okay character, but I wasn't going to think I would love him. He ended up being one of the best characters. The whole main cast that they introduced here, the new characters to this movie, are all so incredible. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it other than incredible and amazing and all these other synonyms for just great. And they did a fantastic job. Poe Dameron plays the super experienced X-Wing pilot who fights for the Resistance, and his character was fleshed out and very likable. Poe Dameron, just like BB-8, is very likable, in different ways, obviously, but Poe Dameron is great. Kylo Ren is the Star Wars villain that we've wanted since Darth Vader. Kylo Ren is... I know a lot of people are having some problems with Kylo Ren, but Adam Driver... another new character who is just amazing in this movie. And Kylo Ren is a fantastic villain for this film. And if you actually watch the film, you'll know what I mean. Every scene that he's in is captivating. It draws you into what he's thinking or what he's feeling, even with the mask on. But the times when he takes the mask off are the best. Some of the best moments in the movie. On to a kind of a disappointing character, actually, is Captain Phasma, who was being built up a lot, especially by Gwendolyn Christie, the actress behind Captain Phasma. But Captain Phasma was a pretty big disappointment because, kind of like Boba Fett, she looks really cool, but doesn't actually do anything. And I don't know how... She's a big disappointment. I thought she was going to be play a much bigger role in this movie. I mean, she's front and center on the poster, so that was a little disappointing, but not a huge gripe there. It's just... I expected more from her character. But moving on to Han Solo. Harrison Ford is Han Solo again in this movie, and Han Solo is definitely one of the best characters. I don't want to spoil too much about him, but his introduction, his wit, his jokes, his banter between Chewbacca and all the other characters is amazing. He's kind of like the mentor of this movie, and you'll see what I mean when you watch the movie. But Han Solo, great character. I'm so glad that he's back. Chewbacca. Now, Chewbacca is like I've been saying for all these characters, is great, but Chewbacca is kind of the backbone of the comedy in this movie, actually, and I was a little bit surprised about that. But Chewbacca, I think, plays a much larger role in this film than I thought he was going to play. So that's actually kind of enjoyable to see Chewbacca and Han Solo back together. A lot of fun. And then General Leia. So this is another character who I was having some problems with when watching the movie, because when I watched it, I wasn't seeing Princess Leia there, or General Leia, or Leia Organa, let's just say. I wasn't seeing Leia there. I was seeing Carrie Fisher, which was it took you out of the movie a little bit to see not the character that you remember, but the person and the actor behind them, or the actress. And so that was a little bit of a disappointment, but she has some good moments in the movie too, so not a huge problem there. C-3PO, and in case you don't know, C-3PO has been my favorite character since I was 5. And that's not going to change anytime soon, but C-3PO in this movie is back to the original trilogy C-3PO comedy, not the puns and stuff of Episode 2 and all that, but the great comedy that we remember 3PO for, and his character is great. I mean, he isn't a vital character to the role. If C-3PO wasn't in this movie, the movie would still be amazing, but he definitely amps it up a little bit for me. Just seeing C-3PO and R2-D2 again is amazing. And speaking about R2, and by the way, C-3PO's red arm, don't want to spoil anything about it, but it's a fun little theme in the movie. But R2-D2, if you're an R2-D2 fan, you're not going to be super happy with his role in the movie, because he's not really in it too much. I think that's safe to say without spoiling anything. But R2 is still in there, and it's R2 again, so there's nothing really to complain about there. General Hux is Tarkin 2.0. General Hux is the perfect mix between, I'd say, Tarkin and like a younger and more inexperienced officer, and he's kind of the Kylo Ren and him kind of butt heads a lot, trying to get the approval of Snoke, who I'm not really going to talk about because I want you to watch the movie and learn about Snoke a little more. But Hux is a great character, very Tarkin-y, and a lot more powerful than I thought he'd be. The last character that I want to talk about is Maz Kanata, and I thought that she was actually going to be a much worse character than she ended up actually being in the movie. Maz Kanata was a bit of a surprise, and she's kind of like the Yoda character of this movie, which wasn't a great thing. I didn't want them to rehash all these old ideas, but Maz Kanata was pretty good, and the CGI is not phenomenal, but I mean, sometimes you'll catch a few things where you know she's fake, but it was pretty good CGI for what she was. And the Millennium Falcon, the introduction to the Millennium Falcon was probably my favorite scene in this whole movie. Just seeing the Falcon again on screen, oh, that was amazing. And seeing it fly everywhere with all the characters, all the little throwbacks. I don't want to spoil anything, but so there are many things that they bring back from the original trilogy that have to do with the Millennium Falcon, words and images and iconic little pieces of the ship that I'm sure you'll all be happy with. All the vehicles in this movie were great, and the CGI that was done for these vehicles, and everything in the movie actually, the ships, the vehicles, the creatures, aliens, planets, all of this stuff looks really good CGI wise, and it integrates very, very, very well into the film with the practical props and effects, and I think that was really important to make sure that it didn't seem fakey, and it didn't seem fakey at all, so I'm super happy about that. So CGI was great job for, I think, was it ILM that did this? I'm not sure, but great job to whoever did the CGI on this movie, because it was fantastic, blended seamlessly in with for the most part, blended seamlessly with the practical props. The score of this movie, if there was one thing that I knew was going to be amazing about this movie, it was John Williams' score, because I don't hate the prequels, but they're not the best, but the score in those movies was still amazing, because it's John Williams, and he did a fantastic job, and it's almost breathtaking in every movie. His scores are always fantastic, but in this movie it was a little uninspired and lackluster. The big moments and the impactful moments where there was music, that the music really brought about was old rehashed themes like Binary Sunset or Han and Leia's theme. And that was a little bit of a disappointment. There wasn't a lot of originality in the score of this movie, which it's not a big deal. I mean, I would have loved to see, there are a couple scores that I really like, but other than that, most of it just seemed like generic background music for a Star Wars movie, which is fine. I mean, it's good music still. It's just a little bit of a disappointment, and you can find the full score online if you just look it up, but I think that you'd prefer to watch it with the movie if you haven't seen the movie yet, but Yeah, the score was a little odd. There were a few really fun moments, but for the most part, it was a bit of a disappointment. The pacing in this movie, though, fast pacing. That the music didn't. I think that the music couldn't really fit in with the fast pacing that was going on. But the pacing is fast. It's back to the Star Wars, great, just action. Fun. It's just fun, and the pacing helps that move along. The opening crawl is Star Warsy, and I don't want to give it away, but it's a great opening crawl that leads into a really fun scene. Well, yeah, fun. I'm just gonna say fun scene. A very well done scene. Let's say that. And the planets of this movie, the environments. While at first I thought they were, like I've been saying, rehashing and just borrowing ideas from the original trilogy with an ice planet, a forest planet, a desert planet, they actually have their own little original twists that are very, very unique. And the planets are very, very fun, especially Maz Kanata's planet. Love that. And so yeah, the planets are great as always. It's a Star Wars movie. The planets have always been amazing. The aliens in this movie, wow, I would have liked to see Ithorians or Rhodians or, all those other alien creatures that we've come to love from the other movies, but the aliens in this movie are so unique and original, and they just feel like Star Wars, but they're brand new designs. Same with the droids. Everything about the creatures and the design of the characters is perfect. It just works perfectly. And then the ship battle. I've never been a huge ship battle fan, in space and flying around with the X-Wings, and it's pretty good in this movie. I'll say that some of them are a little anticlimactic, but for the most part, the ship battles are just as good as always, especially Maz Kanata's castle, the battle above there. The duels in this movie, same thing, a little odd. They're a lot more like the original trilogy, though, with, they're a lot less choreographed and they feel real. So that's a really nice thing, with a lot of emotion built into these battles, but, you'll see what I'm talking about when you see the movies when I say that the battles are a bit odd and, a little out of place, but they're still amazing, and, everything about this film is great. I'm just gonna wrap it up here, because we're running a little longer than 5 minutes, like I promised at the beginning, but, oh, this is such an amazing movie. If you haven't seen it yet, I do suggest you watch it. Second favorite movie of all time for me. The characters, the plot, the pacing, the planets, the aliens, the ship, the CGI, even the score. While it wasn't great, but it still felt like Star Wars, and everything about this is, I think, the Star Wars movie that we've been looking for a long time. And there are a lot of surprises along the way that you'll all love if you haven't seen the movie yet. And for those of you who have seen the movie, if you've seen the movie, please, if you're I'm not a good Star Wars fan, but a good person, please don't spoil the movie for people in the comments, because you're not really doing anything other than ruining the experience for someone else who hasn't seen it yet. And I really don't want that to happen to someone, because this movie needs to be experienced for the first time without knowing too much going in, and I don't want that to be spoiled. So at the beginning of the video, I'll make sure everyone knows that this is spoiler free. Even in the comments, I'll be moderating those to make sure that you're all safe there. So I hope you all enjoyed this movie, or this, well, yeah, the movie, but this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Go see the movie as soon as possible. It's fantastic, everything in it. I mean, I can't find very much to gripe about, but it was a great movie. That's all I'm gonna really say here, and I'm gonna end it off quickly. I'll be doing some more very spoiler-filled, I guess, reviews of the movie as time goes on, but I want to give you some time to watch the movies for yourself and enjoy them before I start doing that. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Until we meet again in a galaxy far, far away, this has been Star Geek.